My name is David Zimbalist. I am a multimedia artist from New York who resides in Santa Cruz, California. The exhibit Amalgamation presents photographic reflections called Apparition City and a newer body of work that utilizes a combination of photography and digital painting I nicknamed Amalgamation. The exhibit begins with 3 screens of moving images. In the middle are amalgamation loops, colored snapshots of nature subjected to the amalgamation process and looped in a way that calms and mesmerizes. The screen on the right features short films also subjected to the amalgamation coloring technique and escort the viewer through the doors of perception by challenging them to see the world we take for granted in a new light. The left screen is dedicated to the premiere of Storyboard of a Dream, a complex work of art that took 2 years to complete and that predicted the future. Storyboard of a Dream started out as a typical Apparition City reflection of a building in downtown San Francisco with 49 windows. Each window was individually titled and treated like a Rorschach test, and what came out was quite surprising. The windows and rows were then paired with essays, 56 in all, that comprise the book version of Storyboard of a Dream, which is still in search of a publisher. Some of the essays are presented with their accompanying window and help explain the iconography. There is an amazing backstory to Storyboard of a Dream. One of the key images, a glowing yellow sphere above a portrait of Nikola Tesla being penetrated by orange and green projectiles, was labored over for months. 10 weeks after it was finally completed, I photographed the same image of a glowing yellow sphere being penetrated by orange and green projectiles in the skies above my neighborhood. Storyboard of a Dream contains many other themes and images that proved premonitory, begging the question, are artists soothsayers? Watch Storyboard of a Dream, the documentary on YouTube, and find out. The Apparition City images in the exhibit start off with Avalon, a photo taken near the Ferry Building in New York City. This is one of my Apparition City Redux images that has been subtly manipulated. The colors are so warm it could easily be mistaken for a pastel painting. The next photo, Ghost Village, a multi-layered image, was taken in Brooklyn Heights. It is also an Apparition City Redux that has been slightly reworked, and at first glance, it appears to be a double exposure. Arroyo is also an Apparition City Redux, an evocative study in orange that was taken in the meatpacking district of Manhattan, near the High Line. Many of my photos are studies in color, and this is also true of Aqua, which was taken in Midtown Manhattan. The next vertical image has the provocative title of Sperm Count because of the white squiggles and was taken in Lower Manhattan. It's another Apparition City color study redux with just a touch of computer manipulation. Ultimate Crib is also an original untouched Apparition City image. I think it was taken in or near Hell's Kitchen on the west side of Manhattan. New Montgomery is an untouched Apparition City photo that was taken in downtown San Francisco on New Montgomery Street. When I rediscovered it some years after taking it, it inspired me to go back to San Francisco to take the photo for what would eventually become Storyboard of a Dream. Amoeba Cab is an Apparition City redux that is a close-up of the globe at Trump Tower. The continents of the globe are made of hammered metal, which causes reflected images to ping-pong back and forth and abstract, much like the childhood game of telephone. As I took the photo, a taxicab and some other cars pulled up behind me, and the reflection of the vehicles in the globe ping-ponged from hammer mark to hammer mark. Oh Canada is an untouched Apparition City photo that had a different name at first, but when I rediscovered it while curating for the exhibit, the lone maple leaf in one of the windows made me think of our neighbors to the north and how much we owe them. The last Apparition City image of the exhibit is called The Distance Between Us. It is also a redux that was taken in Midtown Manhattan. The final part of the exhibit features photographs that have been digitally painted using the technique I nicknamed Amalgamation. The first Amalgamation image is simply called Dragonfly. The original photo was taken in Prospect Park, Brooklyn. There is a shimmering quality about this image that I really like, particularly in the wings. The second Amalgamation image is called No Regrets, Coyote. The title comes from the first line of Joni Mitchell's song Coyote from the album Hejira. My neighborhood sits in between two arroyos, which are host to a wide variety of wildlife. This contemplative coyote appeared one morning across a field at the end of my block, one eye on the mannequin in the upper left, the other on breakfast. The next three images were taken in Santa Cruz. The title for On Some Faraway Beach was borrowed from a song off of Brian Eno's first solo album, Here Come the Warm Jets. The original photo was taken near the lighthouse at Its Beach, which is better known to locals as Dog Beach. In Search of Seal Rock was taken at Smuggler's Cove during a recent storm surge that saw oceans rise to historically high levels. The cliff the surfers are standing on is normally dry. The final image of the exhibit, Supplication, was also taken at Smuggler's Cove in Santa Cruz. It is a portrait of a fearless surrender to the forces of nature, a metaphor for our species as the waters rise. Unfortunately, this is the end of this version of the Amalgamation exhibit, as there simply wasn't enough space to display all of the images I prepared. Here are some of the ones that got away.